Bandwidth and hosting for BagelTechMac is provided by UK2.net. Web hosting for everyone. Hello, welcome to BagelTechMac, the Mac show from the podcast for network that's Bagel Tech News, and I'm joined by the usual team. Top left, we got Mr. Don McAllister, fresh from screencasts online success and having a new revamped website, mate.
I know, yeah, I've been getting my hands dirty this week, doing lots of coding. Mind you, I do use RapidWeaver, although some of the editions I've had to hand code. But no, it's been quite enjoyable. But you never know when to stop with these things, do you? And it's still not finished. But no, it looks a lot better now. So I'm very pleased with the results.
Been under the hood.
Under the hood, indeed.
No, websites are the thing that always bug me, because you sit and play with all the things that you can do with the pieces of software, and then at the end you just go back to something that's, extremely basic HTML, as depicted by myself this week. And the arrows still don't work. Next in, we got Carl Swagger from the Philippines. A little bit cooler than normal, but freshly dinnered. How's it going, mate?
Yeah, it's a little bit cooler. It's 89 degrees.
Ooh.
It's a little cooler. You're right.
You know you love it.
No, not today. I didn't know that. Heat index 106.
Oh, right.
All humidity. No, I didn't love it today. But on the beach, it's quite nice.
What's been happening in your Mac world? Is the new Mac running well?
The new Mac's running great. And we've got the white iPhone here in the Philippines. We didn't have to wait 10 and a half years for customs to clear them. We've got them now.
Someone's obviously slipped someone a bung then.
Obviously.
You know what a bung is, do you?
No. It's something British, and it's something probably that we shouldn't discuss because Will's coming up, and God only knows where Will go with that.
It's a roll of notes, mate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So like,
I was in Pervertedville, so forgive me.
A brown envelope full of bribes. There we go. But I'm sure
still in Pervertedville.
Yeah, but Will probably still pervert it. Filipino bribes. There we go. That's a new website.
Yeah, I'm sure it's there already. .com.ph. I'll check.
Talking of new websites, we've got Dr. Happy Mac, Andrew Stevens below. Hello, mate.
Hello.
How's the cornhole yesterday?
Yeah, boring actually.
Did you sell anything?
Yeah.
Your
Not
weekly
much
blow-by-blow of sales of Dr. Happy Mac. Anything?
No, somebody was caressing and touching an iMac for a while, and they were going on about how they were going to buy it, and then when I finally was trying to prise the cash out of their hands, they were coming up with every reason under the sun why they couldn't buy it right now, but they were going to get it on Monday, so...
but you're not there Monday. Now, Sonny, you should mention stroking and caressing, because after the show last week when you buggered off...
Oh, here we go.
we went and bought drhappyporn.com.
Yes, I heard that.
So it is free at your disposal. We've already had a couple of pictures sent in of Macs in suspenders, and I think we're gonna post those. We'll get them pointed towards the server, and then we'll get them posted up. And someone sent someone through this morning that were they said they were quite mild. Quite how you get explicit with a Mac, I'm not entirely sure, but we'll go there with that one. So are you in, mate? Do you want us to do Dr. Happy Porn or not? As long as it shows no reference to you whatsoever.
Well, apart from the Dr. Happy bit, obviously.
Right, I'm gonna get Dr. Happy Porn on Twitter as well, so that we can tweet out when we've got some updates, and it can be a porn site for Mac users.
Kind intentions in this matter.
It's all right, mate. There you go. Just want to know that we love you.
Yes.
And last but by no means least, the man who is salivating with anticipation today, Mr. Will Green. Hello, mate.
Hello.
British Mac man.
Hello. Yes, I am. I've had a great week buying gadgets and all sorts of stuff. So I bought a Kindle.
All right.
Which I'm absolutely loving, and I've got a new mic stand, which is nice. And,
was that about 15 quid's worth?
No, actually, it was about 80 quid's worth. It's one of the like an angle poisey style one. I don't know why they're so expensive. I mean, it's nothing special.
Oh, come on, mate. You've got to tell everyone what might happen during the
What's
show.
The matter?
You've got to tell everyone
what
might happen during the show. Come on. What might happen during the show?
I've bought my Kindle and the mic stand and so forth. But I've also bought, I've got 5 iMacs and a brand new MacBook Pro as well, top of the line. And it could be, they're out on delivery by TNT, and it could happen It could actually happen.
Have you got a doorbell or something that we'll hear?
No, well, it's sad, isn't it? I've moved, so I'm at home because my credit card's like registered at home.
Oh, right.
And so I've moved all my stuff by the window, and so I'm just looking constantly out of the window in a rather scary manner at everybody. Just keep staring at them.
The bloke at number 43.
In fact, I can see my neighbour now. He's a lovely man, but anyway, it doesn't matter. I won't go on.
No, do go on. It's all right. It's exciting. I just want. I want us to know that we can hear the doorbell. So if the doorbell goes, the entire world can be excited in unison with you.
You will hear it's like a proper heavy, sort of almost Dickensian knocker. I love the word knockers.
Why am I not surprised? Oh, he's managed to get the word dick and knocker in the same sentence. There we go.
So yes,
At least they're not together.
Will, would you like to be the sysadmin of Dr. Happy Porn?
I think I could do a good job there. You know, I've got some experience, and
That's right up your alley, Will.
You know, I did a company once. It was a cabling company that unfortunately went bust and cost me an absolute fortune.
Was this Carry On Cabling?
Carry On Cabling.
Yeah, you said that in about episode 4.
Oh, did I? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
memory's going then, dude.
No, I'll move on.
Afternoon.
My neighbour's walking up now.
Oh, right. The Mac Bits in the chat room is saying, "Will we have a live unboxing, but just the sound of it?" Obviously, the videos are going to be in there.
Play with the bubble wrap, please, Will.
Oh yeah, pop the bubble wrap. That'll be proof enough.
I don't know whether I could do it, you know, because it's unboxing your brand new Mac is well, it's a very personal and special moment, isn't it? That you just share with your newborn.
It's kind of a religious moment, isn't it?
It is. I'm not really bothered about the iMacs. Well, obviously, it's lovely to have them, but the MacBook Pro is my sort of personal beauty. She's looking at through the grass now.
Yeah, do you do it? Is
The neighbour.
it something you just normally do, Will? You just spy on your neighbors?
Well, it's not always. Only on a Friday.
Oh, okay.
101 things that Will Green can do with bubblewrap.com.
Yes.
Bubblewrapmanoftheyear.com. There you go, mate. There's your new idea.
I could do that, couldn't I?
You could do that. That's a good point.
I've given up on these new business ideas because it's a waste of bloody time, isn't it? Pipe smoker of the year. I mean, what happened to that? I mean, it's ridiculous.
There you go. Well,
I've got
stick
British
to training.
Ghost as well.
You got British Ghost?
BritishGhost.com.
Oh, who gives a shit about Apple News? Oh, editing. Damn, editing.
Oh.
Editing. Bugger. Right, the week in Apple News.
Can we do it now?
Yeah,
Fuck
go on.
shit. Shit, bollocks, wanker, cunt.
Hey,
How
hey,
about
hey.
that?
I'm not even editing that one out. No, come on, that's a bit much.
Right.
No, the thing was, last week I forgot to edit. So the SH1T stayed in there. So I've got to edit now this week. Thanks, Will.
That's all right.
He's just too excited, that's all.
Well, yeah, you got to cut
They'll be
it
there
some slack.
soon, Will. Don't worry.
The week in Apple News.
Huh?
There you go. That was it. Do you want to hear it again? Absolutely. It's been a crap week for Apple News. There's not been anything at all of any real note because we had iMacs last week, of course, which was really, really nice. There was one interesting story that came out because we praised the expandability of the new Apple Macs the new iMacs last week, and there was a story out that actually Apple have pulled a bit of a fast one with the hard drive. Did anyone else see this?
Yes.
Yes.
So what they've done is they've got a completely proprietary link for the SATA drive, and if you swap the drive out, it turns the fans on full speed. So you're outed. Any comments?
Pisses me off.
Oh, I can't. In a million words, I can't describe how bad I feel about having. I mean, it's not unusual for me to be wrong, I have to admit, but to have praised them up last week and said how good they were, and then for them to do that has really hacked me off.
Didn't we have an
Well,
argument
did
about
that?
it that I said that you were a PC user closet then?
You said I was a closet PC user, that's right, and you must be gloating now like you wouldn't believe.
I'm not gloating. But I understand that the main difference is the power connection has gone from 7-pin to 10-pin or something like that. That's the difference.
Something
Something
like
to do with thermal management, isn't it? They've done something that.
Yeah, they're on the nice 24s and the 20s, the original ones, the hard drive was in the case, and the temperature sensor for the hard drive was stuck onto the outside of the hard drive with a bit of double-sided tape, just like it is in the normal world. And that was it. You could put any drive you wanted in, just put the sensor back on the drive, and off you go. Now you've got this ridiculous situation where the temperature sensor's inside the drive, and Apple have decided to implement the capturing of the data from that sensor in a non-standard way, so that if you just plug the SATA cable in, it should be able to pick up the temperature data from the drive, because it does on PCs. They can do it. But no, Apple have decided that all of their drives come with custom firmware, which switches the pins inside the SATA cable, which means that when you put the drive in, the computer goes, oh my God, I'm burning up, and whacks the fans onto full temperature, unless you put what is undoubtedly going to be one of the biggest bargains in storage per gigabyte per pound on the market, one of Apple's own drives in the machine. And we all know, anyone that's got an Xserve knows exactly how well the bloody can use only Apple Drive modules worked out in terms of affordability.
Is this actually going to go down well, though, in the EU, Ewan? Because, I mean, we always talk about things that people should be able to do certain things and that, but come on, it's a hard drive, for God's sakes. I mean, we always want more space. I mean, what do they think? We're just going to be so in love with Thunderbolt that it doesn't matter. We'll just add all of our drives there. If something's customizable, leave it customizable. I really wasn't happy about this. This is definitely the dark side. This is the Darth Vader of Apple, right? That's going on right now. I am not happy about it. And
it's not even just. It's not just about, I'd like some more space, and I don't really want an external drive, because Thunderbolt is there if you want big external drives and storage, and you're kind of making a decision to be awkward and you must have your drive. It's one of the things that is guaranteed. If you own a computer for long enough, that is the part that will fail. That part will go.
Yeah.
And basically Apple are saying, I'm sorry, if that part fails, you are restricted to buying our own part and having it installed by our own technicians. And I think the motor manufacturers have just been through this with the EU, and I think that Carl's got a point there, that they've, it was a couple of years ago that it was opened up that you can take your BMW to a Ford dealership if you want, and as long as they service it properly, that won't invalidate your warranty. And Apple are going completely the other direction. And I think the EU needs to stamp on them. Somebody needs to stand up to them on this one.
Let's step back a bit though. To be honest, I mean, they don't make the hard drives. There's only about 3 hard drive manufacturers in the world, isn't it? And they wouldn't make the change for the sake of it, just to pee people off to keep them buying Apple stuff, would they? They've made the change because it's a better design. And with all Apple stuff...
No, I don't think they have.
Yeah, totally. Of course, there's going to be a reason. And Apple are always innovating and sort of pushing the technology boundaries. And then it's about 2 years later, the rest of the PC industry sort of catches up. And so what will happen probably is in a couple of years, PCs will be shipped with the same sort of altered hard drive, and then you'll just be able to buy one from a third-party, PC World or something like that.
So you're saying that this is not going to be a permanent thing. Your view is, Will, that they've put this proprietary bit in, but they're going to let the firmware go out to any drive that you've got.
No. What I'm saying is, I think they've changed the physical manufacturing process to make the hard drive better by putting this temperature thing inside for whatever reason that is. And Apple don't make those hard drives, so it'll be Hitachi or whoever, and you'll be able to buy that hard drive in a couple of years' time anyway, because if it is an improvement, the hard drive manufacturer will roll out that hard drive to not just Apple, to Dell and everybody else. So when in 3 years' time, when your hard drive needs to be upgraded or replaced, you'll be able to buy it. Of course you will.
Yeah, in 3 years, when you're ready to buy another new iMac.
I sort of normally go along with Will, but I don't think he's right this time. I think it is part of a deliberate ploy by Apple, and I think it isn't an improvement. There's no discernible or understandable way that the new system they've got is an improvement over just using the normal pins to access the internal sensor. There's absolutely no improvement on it, and it's part of a jigsaw piece-by-piece move by Apple. I mean, we did touch on it last week, that you take the battery bottom off your MacBook Pro and you can't get the battery out because they've got tamper-proof screws. They've already gone through the tri-wing screws into the pentalobe screws, it's part of Apple's step by step, piece by piece. Keep out of this. It's nothing to do with you policy.
Don, you had something to say there.
Yeah, no, yeah. I mean, I'm torn here because I do agree with Will, and I think that they will have done it for, a valid reason. But again, I can see where Andrew's coming from with the screws, etc. But I don't know. I really can't imagine that they'd be sort of penny pinching or sort of nickel and diming people to try and just get them to buy their own hard disk units, because I don't know though. But yeah. It's a difficult one. It's a difficult one. I find it very hard to justify the fact that you can't use just a standard drive, because everybody does use standard drives. But I'm sure there must be a reason, as Will says, that why they've actually done it, other than just to stop people from tampering or to actually get an extra few quid by selling their own proprietary drives.
I think that's exactly what it is.
I don't think it's monetary. I agree with Will. I don't think they're doing it, and you, Don, I don't think they're doing it to make a few extra quid here, a few extra quid there. I think it is a philosophical issue with Apple, and I think that the company's philosophy is moving steadily in the direction of keep out. This is our stuff. You're only almost leasing it.
They're trying to make Dr. Happy Mac very unhappy. Well, trying to do.
I would say you have a vested interest here, Andrew.
I do. Yes, that is true. There is a vested interest, but I mean, it's gonna. I can see it. It's life is getting harder with the stuff that they're doing already. They're having to buy special bits of screwdrivers just to do basic tasks, and I think the plain fact is that this is Apple's kit. They design it. They don't want you in there.
I think it's interesting what you said about Thunderbolt before, that now they've got that excuse. I could very well see them sort of justifying future Macs very much being sealed units, because Thunderbolt takes away the need to have fast internal drives, takes away the need to open it up and put additional cards in, because the throughput of the bus is so fast. It's just the same as having it inside. So I can see them using Thunderbolt now as as the tipping point, really, to say, right, okay, we've had to have some level of expandability in the past because of some shortcomings of adding external peripherals to our machines. Now we've got Thunderbolt. Let's go ahead and move forward and just create these as sealed units. And, any expandability all comes externally from Thunderbolt. That could be a way that they're tackling it.
Well, I'm going to go against the grain. I'm going to go against Apple, and I'm going to jailbreak my Mac, and you can come and get me, Steve.
You're going to jailbreak it? What, and put Ubuntu on it?
You could, yeah, that's right. I'm going to jailbreak my. Well, in a sense, that's what I'm doing. They didn't want you to jailbreak your phone. By God, if I want a higher capacity hard drive, if my hard drive fails, it's a hard drive, for God's sakes. I mean, I get the quality control, and I completely agree with what Don's saying. It's because they don't want you inside of it. They don't want you to go in and customize it and all that. And let's face it, Mac has never been about customization. You like it how you got it when it was delivered, and we'll see that here in hopefully within this show. But there are times that we want to change things. That hard drive, I want a bigger capacity hard drive, or I want more RAM, and I feel we're being forced to do that at the checkout counter now instead of doing it when we come home or want to do it later. It's that impulse. I'm at the counter. Crap, I forgot the batteries. I better get those before I leave Walmart. That's exactly how it feels now. It's that pressure buy.
Yeah, one of those. I think you were one of the people last week, Carl, that was agreeing with me that there was, the cheapness of the add-ons was there with the new iMacs. Now, I'm just going to try and draw two and two together and probably end up with 5 here. But our Apple, I mean, we're talking in the chat room. There's people are saying, what are you talking about? Come on, thermally sensitive HDs are far better. It's got to be something that's got to be improving the experience going forwards. Maybe, as Will says, there's going to be things further on that you can get these things and add them in, and it won't cause the same problem, because what you're doing is putting old technology with new technology. But maybe Apple's a bit sensitive to that, which is why a lot of the additions have come down in price. I mean, you're getting a 2 gig hard drive in these things for like £140 extra. I mean,
2 gig?
Yeah, you get a 2
Only
gig.
2.
You get a 2 gig hard. You can swap out for a 2 gig hard drive in the new iMacs for extra 140 quid. That's a phenomenal price. That's a really great price on an upgrade like that. I mean, at the moment, I think you'd be paying probably £100 to buy a 2 gig hard drive plain off scan or something like that, wouldn't you?
Not a 2 gig.
A 2 gig. Two. Is it? 2 terabyte.
I'm trying to lead you there. There we go. Ding, 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 ding. He got it.
I'm old. I've been up
Oh,
since
you
4
cruel
o'clock.
thing. Yeah.
I've got 2 kids.
Like,
I'm
gig,
under pressure.
2 gig. It would be Apple to charge that much for a 2 gig, though. That's for sure.
Okay.
Currently, the average price for a 2 gig
Terabyte.
drive on Amazon is
Nicely off the hook there.
2 terabyte drive, Amazon, 60 quid.
2 terabyte drive, 60 quid. So they're giving you it for 120, 140.
So only double. That's about right for Apple, really.
Exactly. Only double instead of quadruple as normal.
Yeah.
You get an 8 gig of RAM, and it's Apple manufactured in inverted commas, Apple manufactured RAM and fitted. You get it in all the warranty stuff that goes with that. So if there's a failure and you go back to the Apple store and it's failed, they'll give it. You get your Apple Care and it's covered within your Apple Care as well. There's a lot of pluses there, and they haven't ripped people off on price on the upgrades. And maybe it's because they know that they're taking this leap forward in technology with the temperature-aware hard drives, and it's good customer services, not bad.
It's good, but what if I want to do it later? I don't want to do it at the checkout. This is my budget. This is what I got right now. Now, I want to do it later. I'd love to, but I just don't have it right now. Times are tough. Later on, can I bring it into the Mac store? Can I add it on later there for the same price?
Probably.
Really?
No, probably not. But
Okay.
I mean, there's
What
a
if I
point.
don't want to do it at the checkout? What if I don't want to do it later? What if I'm a year and a half down the line and my hard drive craps out, which it will do?
Yeah,
And then I think to myself, okay, my hard drive's gone. Luckily, I'm backed up because I'm sensible. All I've got to do is get a new hard drive put in this thing. Oh, dear.
That's when Apple Care comes into use, though, doesn't it?
Yes.
So they've sold you on
which
Apple
is it?
Care now. So
Exactly, yeah, which is another expense. Apple, they treat their customers good, but they also, they get to a point where they do nickel and dime us to death. Try this. This is good. Well, okay, yeah. Ooh, impulse. Before you know it, you spend $40,000. I mean, look at Will. He's probably spent $250,000 today, and he doesn't know why, but by God, he's going to be happy here in 6 hours. That's
Let's
how we
be
all
honest.
feel.
I mean, is anybody here disagree with me that the Apple Macintosh computers are the best computers in the world?
No,
oh, absolutely.
No.
no, absolutely.
They're not the best.
Well, I mean, here's an interesting question, because how much of the time do you buy an Apple for the hardware, and how much do you buy it because it's the only way of getting the OS?
But the whole time, what I'm saying is, okay, well, that was a load of no's. That's sort of
No, I didn't say anything.
invalidated
Yes,
my point
I
a little
wouldn't
bit.
say
yes.
But for me, it's a resounding yes, because it's the best software and it's the best hardware in the world, and it always has been, and probably always will be. And there's a reason why they're, more profitable than Microsoft and anybody else now. There's a reason for that. And yes, okay, you do spend more money, but you get what you pay for. It's just fantastic stuff.
I have to agree with Will. There's no, I mean, let's take for instance, all right, when Apple went Intel, right, and when we could do a Hackintosh, did your Hackintosh run as well as a Mac did? Of course
Yeah.
not. Yeah, there's
Apart from drivers.
hardware configuration. Yeah, there's configurations problems.
Keyboard.
It's not meant to run there. Yeah, but a lot of people could get it running,
A few of
and
the
it does not
keystrokes
run
didn't
as
really
well.
work.
What?
A few of the keystrokes were a bit different and didn't work properly. Yeah, good point.
Well, yeah,
And the drivers and some of the software wasn't brilliant, but
Well,
apart from that, it was
well-
slick as snot.
well, I'm just saying there is people that got it working, but it's nowhere near the same experience. It's
And you
nowhere
couldn't turn
near
them off either.
because everything isn't. Yeah, well,
Dude, hang on a minute. Look. Well, here's the thing, Kyle. If you're going to make a point, the idea of making the point is to draw people towards your position. Everything that you've just said makes me agree more with Will Green. You're pushing me away, dude.
with what? I'm trying to put you towards Will Green. I'm trying to say that Apple, when you buy the Mac and you buy the software, if you're saying it's the best combination of getting the best experience out of a PC, dare I say that word next to a Mac, to me it is, because everything works really, really well. You don't get the same experience on a Windows machine, and you sure in hell don't get the same experience installing Ubuntu on a Dell machine. It's not the same. Plus, the look of it, it's elegant, it looks great. Yes, we pay more for it, but I do believe there is a point where Apple starts saying, I'm going to take advantage of these people that love our products. And I think that's exactly what they're doing right now. I should have the option later on, if I buy an iMac, to go into the store and say, you know what, I can afford it now. Put me in a bigger capacity hard drive. Put me in a little bit more RAM.
Yeah, it's quite.
That's the part that bothers me.
That's quite interesting because actually, when I first read this, I was disappointed that I couldn't expand myself. But actually, knowing what they've done now with this, I don't see it as them trying to leverage the market. I think they've genuinely got something that's a better technology, and it's just a natural failing of the fact that if you put an old hard drive in there, it won't be recognised, and there's a byproduct to that, and that's all there is to it. I don't think they are leveraging the market with it, is my personal opinion.
I don't see the better technology. I mean, I know that it is better that the hard drive has the thermal sensors inside the hard drive than outside the hard drive stuck on with a bit of sticky tape. That is better. Quite a lot of up-to-date hard drives already have that. They have an internal thermal sensor, and they have a port on the back of the machine to connect the computer's thermal sensor to. This is not an Apple innovation. Sensing the temperature of the hard drive from the inside thing is nothing to do with Apple's innovation. That is an available technology that is built into hard drives today, that PCs take advantage of, and that the last generation of iMacs took advantage of.
So, I mean, there's a point being made in the chat room from Steve. He's saying, well, it's like buying a Ferrari and trying to put a VW gearbox in it, but I don't think it is. I think this is buying a Ferrari and then Ferrari saying you can only buy Ferrari tyres, because to a certain degree you have to accept that hard drives are not consumable, but they're fallible to a higher degree. I mean, I've got a little pile of hard drives that I've never got rid of that are sat in a cupboard here, little 250 ones and those kind of things, 1.8s and 2.5s and 3.5s, and I don't know what to do with them, and I need to take them a piece and shred the platters somehow, but it's easy to just keep them in the back of the cupboard. But I've probably got about 8 drives in there that have failed on me in the last 3 years.
Yeah, and it's not a case of saying, well, you're buying a Ferrari, it's Ferrari quality, because as even Will pointed out, these drives are all built by 3 manufacturers: Seagate, Hitachi, Yada, Western Digital, whatever. 3. So Apple are buying this off-the-shelf component for their computers. It's nothing to do with the quality of the component. You open the Mac up, it's not an Apple drive. They haven't got a fantastic brand new facility making their own drives that are better than anyone else's. They're using other people's drives, and they've been to their manufacturers and they've used their purchasing power to say, we want you to make drives this way, and we're going to build it into the firmware of the drive, not the hardware, that it addresses the sensors in this way.
Yeah,
and that leaves it open to them at any point in the next year or 2 years, as the next generations come up, to change the firmware again. As soon as somebody comes up with a fix, you can put this drive in this Mac, bang, firmware update, can't use it anymore.
Yeah, Steve in the chat room says, I agree, Ewan, but I would rather choose Apple to replace my failed hard drive than another Apple one than someone else. Max is saying, I don't want to open the case myself, and Mac Bits has come out with a really good point. Do Apple see their current iMac demographic as people who don't know or don't want to open the case anyway, so what does it matter?
And when Andrew said earlier about traditionally the way they've done it is just sellotape the heat sensor to the top of the hard drive. It doesn't sound quite right, does it? It does sound like it possibly could have done with an upgrade or a redesign somewhere.
What Andrew's saying there is it's sellotaped to the inside.
That was the old implementation of the technology. New hard drives already have thermal sensors. It was open to Apple to put hard drives in these Macs that had internal temperature sensors that were accessed via the SATA connection. They could have done that. They could have done it in an industry standard way that meant that any drive could be plopped in and it would work. They have chosen to alter the firmware of these OEM drives so that they don't work. It's not a case of Apple having a technology that no one else has. Everyone else has this technology. It exists and it's used. Only Apple use it in their own way.
I'd take it personally if I was you.
I think I will. Because one of the actually, whilst we're sort of doing the whole bitch fest thing on Apple, I've just spent most of the morning sat in front of the Windows computer trying to update Kaspersky antivirus, which is where a lot of the aggression's coming from today. So it's actually.
If there's any students out there and they'd like to know the definition of animated, put the book down and just listen to this. That'd be perfect. Right, Android devices are being outsold by older iPhones and older iPads. Are we surprised?
Actually, are we bothered?
Are we bothered?
Yeah. I'm a little surprised.
I really do hate this, Android selling more than this and that. Because at the end of the day, and lots of people say this, it's really down to, there's plenty of room in in the ecosystem for both Apple iPhones and for Android phones, and when it comes to that, iPads and Android tablets as well. There's this constant sort of barrage of press about one's slightly taking over the other and the other taking over the other. It means nothing. I mean, look at Apple's Mac sales. That's what 10% of the market, and yet they're still the most profitable computer manufacturer in the world. So does it really matter?
Well, I think what's interesting though, Don, is the fact that the article is saying is that you've got brand new whiz-band technology on the Android platform with a bit of a fragmented OS, okay, granted, but the 3-year-old technology is outselling it from Apple, which means that iOS is becoming a very dominant OS, the hardware is becoming dominant in the global market, and isn't that eventually going to have a problem with competition, and isn't that eventually going to hurt all of us potentially who are even Apple fanboys?
Right, yeah, okay, take your point.
All right, that's the end of that then.
I think it's a different story, Ewan. I think it's a status symbol at the back of the phone. I mean, I know somebody here personally that bought an Apple first-generation iPhone over a new Android phone. It was cheaper, yes, than a new Android, but they wanted the older phone because it was an Apple phone. A lot of it goes to that status symbol at the back of things of why people are wanting Apple products. Why do you think old MacBooks are still selling well on eBay? Why do you still think we're paying top dollar for old hardware on eBay from old iMacs and Mac Minis and these kind of things? There's no doubt about it. Apple's resale value has always been really, really good, but a lot of it has to do is because, I'm part of that crowd. I own an Apple product too.
I'm wondering, though, if going back to the point that you were originally trying to make, about this, the older technology beating the newer technology, are Android phones nice to use? Are they easy to use? I mean, I'm speaking from not really a sensible platform here, because I don't use an Android phone. In fact, the only Android device I used I actually sent back after a week thinking it was broken because I just couldn't use it. It was awful. But, it's down to usability again. Android's great if you're a geek and if you really like to hack things and get stuck in, but for the average man in the street who, let's face it, most people up till last year or even 18 months, 2 years ago, when they got a new phone from their carrier, it was a standard phone. It made phone calls. Whereas now you try and go into a shop now to buy a phone, you're presented with a whole range of smartphones, most of which, the fragmentation, most of which are based on Android, but you have the iPhone. And if you actually have 6 Android phones and an iPhone and look at them and try and use them, forget about the price differential. I'm sure that people will find it easier to use the iPhone than they would trying to use the Android phone. But I know a lot of people who've had these new Android phones and have actually sent them back because they can't actually use them.
There's a comment in the chat room is not as easy to use. I've got to say, I had the HTC Desire sent through as a trial unit, as a review unit, and I got on very well with it. I thought it was okay. It was fairly intuitive. It ran fairly smoothly. It was fairly quick. I wouldn't have said there was an awful lot of difference in terms of the iOS system, in terms of the kind of touch interface and the reactiveness, if you like, with the inputs. It went pretty well. I wouldn't fault it, but I think the one thing that does interest me is the other week I was down at a business and I was talking with 3 guys, and I went off and did something else, and the 3 guys are sitting there comparing phones. 2 guys have got iPhone 4s, and I've talked to them a great deal about it, and the other guy pulls out an Android phone, and someone comes past and says, "Oh, is that an Android phone?" So Android is it's coming out to be a lot more in speech terms. It's flowing into the more general population. They know what it is. They know about Google. They know about Android. The word is spreading, if you like. I'm just interested that perhaps the fragmentation that Google's got, and perhaps the brand image that they've got, is the only thing that's holding them back, and that ultimately will be bad for us, as even as Apple fanboys. Okay.
See, we're scared now, actually. We're speechless.
I hate it when I finish talking, everyone else just stops. Say something.
No, because
we're daydreaming.
I don't give other people a chance to speak. How dare you, McAllister?
We're hanging on to your every word, Ewen. And then we have to absorb you like a sponge, and then finally we wake up.
There's plenty of drips out of this sponge, but that's about it, mate.
But I have to say, though, Ewen, I don't think that the Android is actually entering the consciousness yet of people. I still don't think if you, like you mentioned before, what, the HTC phone?
Yeah, the Desire.
Yeah, it's running on Android, but if the average man in the street picked one of those, would they know it was an Android phone? I don't think so.
I think more are. I don't think the average man in the street is, but more people are becoming aware of it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's becoming Windows versus Mac again. You know, Android versus iPhone, iPhone versus Android. Get it now here on pay-per-view, $59.95, $65 in HD.
That's good. You should do announcing, mate. That's very good. No, I think you're right. I think Android is winning. He's losing hands down at the minute. So definitely.
What they need to do is they need to ramp up the stupidity of the code names for their new operating systems.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, because I think
What could
calling your
they
new operating
possibly
system
think that'd be
ice
stupid,
cream
though?
cone is just not stupid enough.
Can you see the new OS is going to be a version 6 of Android is going to be chocolate teapot, followed by version 7 rubber hammer. I mean,
But really, ice cream sandwich.
Yeah,
Come on. Good grief.
version 8 bendy screwdriver. There we go. Chat room. Chat room. We need silly names for Android
I think they
OS.
should call the next one Burn Infidel Burn.
Oh. I figured that would come out of Will's mouth, not Andy's.
Version 9 Bin Laden's bed. There we go. Right. You can tell it's a light news week. Now Twitter.
Can we go back just then?
Oh,
You know,
go
the
on then, mate.
Bin Laden thing.
Go on.
What's the common consensus? Is he dead or not?
My vote says no.
Yeah, he's deader than a dead thing that's been
Yeah,
dead for quite a
hasn't
while,
been
but was actually only shot last week.
Strummer in the chat room said, perhaps the next one should be shite sandwich. More editing.
Just put it out explicit this week.
Yeah, I don't know how to change the tag. That's the problem.
Well, that's iTunes' problem.
So I say he's alive, Will. What's your view?
Well, I don't know. I just thought that the whole thing was just very strange, wasn't it? I just thought it was really strange, the whole scenario. And there's nothing to do with Mac. I was just interested in other people's views.
It's nothing to do with Mac, he has to say. Just in case anyone was wondering.
He could have been a
Must
Mac
been-
user, you never know.
Yeah, as I say, maybe Bin Laden did have an iMac laying around. Of course, I'm sure he got it off eBay for full price.
If he'd been using iOS, the crotch bomber's bomb would have gone off for certain.
He should have been using Ubuntu. We never would have found him.
That was it, was it? That was all it came down to. Someone at Apple suddenly just went, "Oh, find my iPhone," and it went blink, blink. It's in Pakistan. Let's tell
Damn,
someone.
it's Bin Laden. Well, I'll be damned. That was easy.
Points from the chat room. Osama's well alive and running a bed and breakfast in Devon.
Done shooting.
Oh dear me. Right. Well, the Americans have always been very good at setting up fascist dictators in new lives. So I don't see why he should be any different. Maybe. Who knows? Right. Twitter for Mac came out this week, and Don, you tweeted out that you loved it.
Did I?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do actually. Well, I've always liked. I liked it originally when it first came out as Tweety. That was the very first version that Lauren Brichter, I think the guy's name is, who developed it, and I was a really huge fan of it, Tweety. And then it got bought, and then they did a few foolish things with it. But it's now out again. I can't remember what version number it is, but they've redesigned the interface again, and it's. I must admit, there's only one thing missing from it at the minute, and it would be the perfect Twitter client, and that's the ability to filter out either hashtags or users at certain times. But for general Twitter use, I like it. I think it's really a nicely written piece of software. It's the one I always end up keep going back to as well. Keep going back to it.
Filter out users like Will Green.
No names, no Pactrol. No.
You can do
No,
that.
it's mainly hashtags. You know, if there's a TV show on or something, and you get flooded with quotes about stuff, you can actually filter out the hashtags and ignore them for a bit, and then switch them back on. Other ones do that. I've been using Echophon most recently, and that did that really well. But no, I went back to the standard Twitter. I've been using it for a couple of days now, and I do like it.
What is a hashtag?
Hashtag's a little label that starts with a hash.
He
So that
knows what a hashtag
if you want to view groups of tweets, you can actually search by hashtags and things.
I genuinely don't know what a hashtag is. I
Right.
really don't.
Do you know what
I
the,
said that
do you know what
I
the
follow-
hash symbol is?
I know what this hash symbol is,
Right,
but I
so-
see this all the hash business, and I'm thinking, what's that all about?
Well, basically, if you want to send a tweet on a single subject, so for instance, there was a guy this week, one of my followers, who started nuns in movies. And what he did was he put the hashtag at the start of it and wrote nuns in movies. And then people were making up silly titles for nun movies. So I made up The Nunslinger. But yeah, if you want it to appear inside that thread, you have to put hashtag nuns in movies or nun movies.
It's like almost like a smart folder.
It's a grouping thing.
Yeah.
It's a grouping thing.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Thank
everything
you.
that came out, naked nun, you had to hashtag it. And I put Diary of a Wimple Kid, but no one got it. No, there you go. See?
Wimple. Yeah, I get
Diary of a Wimple Kid.
Yeah.
Kind of takes you back to the old IRC days, Well, I guess IRC's still around though. When you used to have to put those kind of things. It's almost like a code, but
Yeah.
it's for like trending topics and these kind of things on Twitter. Well,
Groupings.
Groupings. I like Twitter because it is fairly straightforward. Isn't it? There's a few. Oh, there's a CityLink van coming past. No, it's on the road below me. So it's like a one up because CityLink. The most exciting thing, right? It's not just like a Mac; it's a pallet. I'm actually getting a pallet of Macs. I mean,
How are you going to move it?
a pallet of Macs. I'm just going to lick them all over. Lovely Macs.
How are you going to move it, dude? Are you
I
just
don't
going to
know,
break them off and move them singly?
Well, I'll have to. Or just look at it. Look at it.
Or lick
sit
it.
on it.
Is it coming your way or is it not?
Well, okay. So where I live,
Isn't it UPS? Shouldn't it be UPS?
no, CityLink.
Oh, right, okay. Because you said TNT as well earlier.
Oh, it is TNT, isn't it?
Oh, sorry,
Oh.
mate. Oh, how to pour water on his fire. There we go.
just
Bad luck,
popped
mate.
his bubble wrap.
Yeah, do apologise, mate. No, the one thing that I figured out this week as well is that because when you said you really liked it, Don, being the sheep that I am, I followed you. And I went and got it down and I sat down and played with it. I thought, yeah, this is quite nice. And then I started adding in all the Twitter accounts that I've got for Rage, Mac, Photo, all that kind of stuff. And it sucks just as bad as TweetDeck does. And it was that moment that I realised that I'm not a typical Twitter user, really.
Right,
That
now
could be the
I
problem.
only have one or two Twitter accounts, so I don't really switch between them.
I'll
But,
be-
you can pop out windows now, though, in this new version. If you want to, you can. If you want to see your mentions in a separate window, it'll actually pop out, and you can keep that in a separate thing. So if you have another account, you can pop that window out in a separate column. So it's a bit. You can actually build your own sort of tweet deck and have multiple columns of different views or different accounts or different searches, etc.
Yeah,
But each window is separate.
the one thing that I find really quite limiting about TweetDeck is you can't play with the column sizes and point sizes of the text. So, if I've got 7 columns open, that's an entire screen, and there's nothing I can do about it. Not a damn thing.
Yeah.
Because if you pull it across and make it narrow, it just cuts off the furthest most column. It doesn't resize anything, which is a bad thing.
Just a bigger screen. That's all you need. Just bigger screen.
Tweet comes through from Mike saying you look tired, Ewan. Thanks very much, pal. you look young. Have we got any other Mac news?
How about the one where the Apple is patenting a keyboard that knows what you're typing?
Well, that probably already exists, doesn't it?
Yeah, that was called that iOS 4.3 point whatever update. Yeah, 0.2, yeah.
So they've
It's a
got a
new
patent
update.
out that's going to... Is it predictive then? Is that what this thing's saying?
Oh, it's rumored. The usual. This is what we're down to this week, Ewan. Sorry. Yeah, it's rumors. Yeah, I guess they're developing a keyboard that knows exactly what we're going to think before we even type it.
It might be able to type on because it'll know in advance which keys your fingertips want to hit.
Yeah. To me, it sounds exactly like the iPhone does right now, and it'll probably get every damn thing wrong. You'll have to go back over it again.
You can tell that the article's spurious because immediately after that, which is like about 12 words, it then goes on to talk about Back to the Future and Doctor Who. So, definitely.
There's another
that's because
interesting rumor about the.
he was using the new keyboard, so that's why it went off. It thought that's what he wanted, but that's not exactly what he wanted to talk about. He just didn't edit it.
No, well. Go ahead, Will, what you say?
There's another interesting rumor, which I think has got some validity. Is that's a big word for a Friday afternoon, isn't it?
Yeah.
That the new iPod Nano, I think it is. It's got a camera built in, which is, no big news. But the other thing about it is it's going to use sensors, and this has been patented or filed, whatever, on the American system, however they do it. And so it's going to use all its little sensors, audio, the camera even, the temperature and stuff, to change the screensaver to reflect the conditions you are in. So if it's a really cold day, you'll get a snow screensaver or something like that. How fun is that?
Very good. If you want to use that kind, what do you use it for?
Well, it's one of those
Just
little things in life that are useless but give pleasure.
So
You'll probably find it plays white noise if you plug anything but Apple headphones into it.
Oh, Andrew, let it go, dude.
You can sense the bitterness, can't you?
Or Justin Bieber songs. Maybe it just, if you plug a Sanyo headphones in, it just plays Justin Bieber till you give up.
Oh, Dr. Krabby Mac.
Oh, is that one available? Go to UK2, see if Dr. Krabby Mac's available.
Has anyone tried installing an update in Kaspersky on a PC?
No.
Fantastic.
Go on. What's the highlight?
If anyone from Sophos, like how I dug the hole and I said it, with UK2.net being good because they weren't as sucky as someone else.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just sat there looking at Sophos on the Mac going, you install this, you click the update button, it updates. It's like, that's how it works. I mean, that's why you live in a Mac, and that's why whatever Apple do, we'll still buy the Macs, because some of this stuff that can be really complicated and is quite technical is just can, with sufficient thought, be really easy. But I was just horrified how something that millions of people must have to do, which is update their Kaspersky antivirus software on their PC, could be made so monumentally disastrous.
So there you go. Even the stuff you don't need for your Mac because it doesn't take much viruses, you still get better service.
Absolutely.
I love Sophos because they're not Kaspersky.
Yes. Oh.
I thought that was almost a sort of reconciliation moment at the end. It's almost, what's that American guy who does what's his name? And he comes to the end of the show and he does a wrap up. I thought it was, what's his name?
I have no idea, mate. You need to narrow it down.
Grey hair.
Hey?
American bloke. Born in Britain, actually.
The one where they're always fighting, they have the...
That's it.
Oh, him, yes. The guy that was mayor of Chicago.
Yeah, that's him. What's his name? Jerry Springer. Thank you, Matt.
Oh.
Yeah, that was almost like a Jerry Springer moment at the end. Well, at the end of the day, we all have to admit that we love our Macs.
Drummer in the chat room wants to know if Andrew's going to cry today.
Yeah, later.
Apparently, Dr. Krabby Mac is not available.
Oh.
I'm
Excellent.
gutted.
My plan worked.
You've already bought it.
Neither is Dr. Wanky Mac.
Oh, man, dude, I only had to do one bit of editing, and now I've got to do two. I've got to find it.
No, you've got a lot more than that.
You
dude.
got
I'm
more
telling
than
you,
two,
you got to go to the explicit route this week.
Oh, God. Right.
I haven't had my cool thingy yet.
Well, we
Need some editing then.
Oh, man.
We got the C word in as well this week.
No, don't mention the C word.
No,
Right,
you
Apple,
got the
please,
C word
can we
in.
have some
You
news
did.
next week? Please give us some news next week. Give us something to talk about. Release anything. But right.
Apple buys Microsoft.
Oh, that's a good
Microsoft
point,
buys
actually. Now, the
Skype.
Skype thing. Are we worried about Skype now that it's got under Microsoft control?
No, it actually
What's the
should
worst
get
that can
better
happen?
for Mac support.
You think it will?
I hope so. My God, it couldn't get any worse.
No, it's not very good, is it? That's true. Good point. There we go. Another story that no one wants to talk about. Right, should we do a cool thingy? Don,
Go on, then.
what's your cool thingy, mate?
Me?
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
what?
Your name's Don, isn't it?
Oh, did you? I didn't even never even heard you saying the name. Never mind. Okay, well, I was going to pick Twitter, but seeing as we've talked about Twitter, I'll pick another one. This one is a Mac client for Instagram. Now, I never really got into Instagram, to be honest. Instagram is an application that you run on your iPhone and actually just takes a little snap and you post it to Instagram, and then people can watch it. And there's some really nice photos on there, though, so people are using it an awful lot. To watch it on your Mac, though, you can go to the website, or you can buy this application called Carousel, which is quite a nice app. It's very, very nicely put together. And basically, it's a single panel that enables you to view both your Instagrams, your favorite ones, and also sort of like the people ones that people have liked. And it's just a nice thing to have running on your monitor, and it refreshes itself now and again. You can just zip up and down, have a look at some pretty photos. If you like them, you can drag them off and put them on your desktop, or you can put them into iPhoto. But it's really nicely implemented. It's by a company called Mobilux. So it's actually at carousel.mobilux.com. It's not in the Mac App Store, but they've currently got it on half off introductory price of $4.99.
Are the pictures of decent quality? You say you're dragging them to the desktop. They're not grainy.
Sorry, they're not. No, you can drag the image to the desktop, so they're still only sort of iPhone size images.
Which is probably good enough for a small monitor.
Yeah, it could be, but they're just nice to look, and they're quite interesting. So people are getting very creative now with the various filters and the different subjects that they take photos of. So it's quite nice just to have as a distraction now and again during the day.
Yeah, no, good one. Instagram client called Carousel, carousel.mobilux.com. Thank you very much, mate.
No problem.
Kyle, have you got something for us?
I do, yes. It is free. I'm going back on my cheapskate bandwagon again. And it is the Super 8 app for the iPhone. And this thing, it's really, really neat. It takes video, like the old Super 8, or the 8 millimeter film cameras. And it really does have the same effect. And I don't know, it's just a novelty little thing. It's just an app that's going to take up space on your phone. But, why not? I've had a lot of fun with it this week, and it is a lot of fun, and it's free. Free,
jolly good. We like free.
I'll put a link there in the chat room, which
excellent.
I can't do right now.
Okie doke. Andrew, what's yours?
It's a tiny little thing. It's in beta at the moment, and it was sent to me by someone that I know. So I just thought it was interesting. It's a weird sort of left to field idea. It's called Little Intranet, and the website is littleintra.net.
Yeah.
And the idea is it's basically zero configuration internal messaging service. You call up the website on your page. It's got a little window you can type into, and whatever you type in there shows up on any other machine that's got that website up on the same internal IP address in the office. So rather than having to sort of configure your MSN chat or whatever, you can just use this on an ad hoc basis. You just go to the site, type it in, and it comes up. It's just something that a chap called Daniel Vesma that I know has been putting together. It kind of came out accidentally from his brain. It just seems quite interesting. It doesn't, I can see it working in medium-sized offices that just want a little bit of quick way of keeping in touch with each other around the office. And there's a pro version, which means you can brand it with your company name.
For £95 a year.
Yes.
Have you got to all be on the same IP?
I think you do,
the same
yes.
main IP, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
It's got a little video on the site you can go to, Getting Started Guide, explains how it works, but it's essentially zero configuration. It just ups and runs. So.
Jolly good. Okay.
If it only runs in the same office, that's right, isn't it?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you pay £95 a year to have your office name on it?
Well, it has.
It's not external. I get you.
It's just the office name. It also adds. You can have more notes, and it will also back up. There's a backup system or backup emails through it, and it will also, the pro version links to multiple IP addresses. So if you've got different offices in different buildings or different sites, you can do it site to site, which the pro version doesn't do.
That sounds really interesting. It's almost not retro, but it's interesting, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's just. I think he's been playing around with the idea of zero configuration as just a sort of a way forward for these things.
What was that thing with it used to be a little flower in the bottom right? What was that one?
What was that? What, a chat thing?
Yeah, what was that called? A little flower. It was on PCs. I worked in an office that used it. Tiny little flower.
ICQ.
ICQ. That's it. It's like an internal ICQ.
Thank you, MacBits.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
One of the things that I've got a couple of companies that I've suggested that they use like a group thing within Twitter, and I don't know. Is there like a group functionality within Twitter where you can close your accounts right the way down and only follow a single loop or something like that? Because that would be really useful if corporations could use Twitter as a corporate communications tool. It'd be a good way.
You might have found the way to monetize Twitter.
Yeah, no, it just struck me. You know, I worked for a company and they got a group of like 12 guys that I needed to talk to that I was doing the work with, and I suggested using Twitter, and they went, "No, well, we don't want, we don't want to tweak too much out. Well, we can close the account now, set up a new account, close it down. We only follow each other. Therefore, when one tweets, everyone else gets the tweet, or we can do DMs and that kind of stuff." And I think you'd probably do the functionality right now, but it'd be nice if it'd be something that you could do as just you bought a username and then you handed out sub-accounts to people, and it was all done under the same corporate name. So you had a front end and a back end, but there you go, just a thought.
So what's the name of it again, Andrew?
Little Intranet, and the website is littleintra.net, which is quite clever in itself.
That's good, isn't it? Yeah.
Very good. Will, what's yours?
It's a book.
Oh, good man.
It's a book. And
paper or the digital kind?
No, it's a paper one, genuine paper, and it's called Zen and the Art of the Macintosh. Anybody heard of that?
No.
I've heard of Zen.
It's lovely. It was produced in '86, so it's not as up to date as it might be, but it's like the first book, as far as I know, to be produced on the Mac and everything, graphics and everything. And back in the day, it was like a huge thing, and it sort of combines both sort of love of Macintosh and a bit of philosophy too, which is right on, dude, isn't it? It's like you get the seductive fascination of the computer. That's chapter 3.
Well, mate, you're sitting talking about the potential philosophy associated with the book that you've just got. The chat room was betting it was going to be a porn mag.
There are a few saucy pictures on the back. No, I won't go there.
Steve in the chat room says, "Oh, it is a porn mag." There we go.
It's lovely. Oh, I'll tell you what I'm about it. I probably mentioned it before, but I always what's it called? Christ. Oh, right, I know what it is. If Macs had monks.
Yeah, you did mention that before. That was good.
Yeah.
You said it was a good book. Yeah, it's free, isn't it, as well?
No, that's not a book. That's a piece of software. But they're both on the same sort of lines. I like to think that Macintosh users are a bit spiritual, or we think different, don't we?
Yes.
Hell am I talking about?
Even when we play devil's advocate.
It's called
I
the
know.
Zen
It's
and
true-
the
it's
Art
true,
of
though,
the
isn't it?
Macintosh.
Yeah, that's
Right?
it. Zen and the
Discoveries
Art
of the Path to Computer Enlightenment. Is that correct?
That's the chap. Yep. It's
Do you know they
so-
have? Do you know they have one on Amazon right now, used for $309?
What?
That's all right,
Are
isn't
you
it?
serious?
Formats: hardcover, used from $309. Paperback, $70.93. Or you can buy a used one, or the add to cart for $4.
Well, somebody's trying their best, aren't they?
That could be a bit of a screw up then.
My
Yeah.
God!
Mine only cost I think it's about a tenner. But it's a really interesting book. But both two things. One is sort of the sort of evolution of the Mac, but not just that. The sort of acceptance and what's the word I'm looking for? Integration of a computer into your life at that point, which was pretty rare, I suppose. They were just stuck with command line interface stuff, and the Mac was like a revelation. So I think we shouldn't forget that. And now I'm going. What's that bloke's name again? The American chap,
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer. I think we shouldn't forget that how important the Macintosh was. It's a good book anyway, and I've got another book actually. Can I do another book?
Yeah, go on then.
Now this one is electronic, and you can download it to your Mac or your lovely Kindle, which I've got one here. Kindles are ace. Kindles are ace, and it's called. What's it called?
Someone in the chat room's put down, I've just ordered it. Jen has a fart in her Macintosh. Was that the right title?
That's the one. Ghoul Britannia. That's the other one I want to.
Ghoul Britannia. And it's a ghost book, is it?
Yeah, it's absolutely excellent. So I got the reason I got the Kindle was I could never get on with the iPad as an ebook reader. It just doesn't work out for me. So I bought this thing, and I do on the dog walks and stuff. And I'd like to take a book with me, and so I did this.
Good.
And that's it, really.
Jolly good. Excellent pick. Well done.
You should up the excitement.
You read
level
while
of
you're
this
walking the
podcast.
dog.
Yeah, I'm going to say I thought audiobooks would have been good, but not. Did you trip over a lot? That's why the dog craps in the carpet, mate. He's got no discipline because you're too busy reading.
He did it on the neighbour's. One of those the doormats, but with the rubber ones with the holes in it. And he did it on there, and I missed it. And they trod it all through the house.
Oh,
I know, and they're not talking to me now. And I got it, and because it was the crap was in the little holes, I got the little lad's stick. He's got this stick thing, so I used that. I threw it away after, and I had to poke the poo out the little holes. Then it took me not hours, but it took me an hour to get all the bits of dog shit from in the little holes. It was horrible, absolutely horrible.
Oh, I need to ask Sarah
Have a
how
good
to
week.
do
Have a
explicit.
good weekend, Ewan.
I need to get Sarah to tell me how to do explicit tags. Oh, bloody hell. Right, my pick, before Will goes any further, is... someone's put third edit in the chat room, at least. It's more than that. My pick is Boinks TV in the Mac App Store. Now, be very careful here because I am not recommending Boinks TV. I did a comparative review between Boinks and Wirecast this week, and Boinks doesn't do so well. It's got a lot of stuff that's really good about it. I'm not slagging it off. But for the high-end money, you're better off with Wirecast, I think, than Boinks. But I think
You are slagging it off.
I think someone's made a bit of a cock-up because at the moment in the Mac App Store you can buy the home edition of Boinks TV for £5.99. Now, if you go to their website, it's $49, and the Boinks Home TV edition in the Mac App Store a month ago was $59.99. So I think someone's cocked up. They've put the wrong price in. So while it's hot, go and get yourself Boinks TV for $5.99. Just buy it. You'll find a use for it. Don't worry.
Sounds like a board game.
It's very.
Boinks TV Home Edition.
It is a good. No, it's a good piece of software. Watch out for the specs because your computer's got to be fairly high end. I ran some tests on the Mac Mini, my MacBook Pro, and a 1 gigabyte GPU that was in a Mac Pro, and it was still dropping frames in the Mac Pro when it was running. It wasn't brilliant, but at the low resolutions it works perfectly. And for $5.99, just buy it. Don't even mess around and have a play with it. If you want to do any kind of broadcast or something like that, or even if you want to do desktop captures, something like Don's screencasts online, it's not going to be perfect quality, but Will, if you're thinking of not ripping him off and actually making your own, you could use it and it would work just fine. Use it. You need to use it with Cam Twist though to do screen captures and stuff. So, but it's $5.99. I think it's a mistake, so get it while you can.
When you download those dodgy movies and there's somebody screening it filming it in the cinema.
No, don't talk. No, don't talk about the guy in the hotel room that tries to capture the movie off the TV screen and ends up capturing himself. No,
I'm going to do that with Don stuff.
No. Save it, dude, for the after show.
Going back to the Boink stuff, though, Ewan.
Yeah.
It's not an error. They've actually got. No, I had an email from them a couple of days ago. They're doing a promotion on the 3 home applications. They've got Photo Magico Home, Boinks TV Home, and iStop Motion Home, and all 3 they're doing for $9.99. So
Wow.
I don't know how long it lasts for.
Well, I mean, as I said, it doesn't. It's not the best of the bunch in terms of that, but in terms of if you wanted something very basic at $5.99, I think it's a really great buy. Really great buy. And iStop Motion is just stunning. It's my favourite piece of software by a long way. I love playing with that. And you're saying that's $9.99 included now?
That's the same, yeah.
That's a bit of a pisser because I spent £40 for it a month ago for
Right.
Ellis. God damn, I hate this show.
Bargain.
I hate this show. Right, our last word goes to our sponsors, UK2.net. They are the people that keep us afloat. We consumed 3 terabytes of data last month. They've put an extra 10 nodes on our server this week to try and deal with the demand, and they're looking after us. We had a chat with them on Tuesday, a marketing call with them, and they said We love you. Thanks very much. One of the things that they mentioned was that lots of you are using the click-throughs, and you're making it look like Bagel Tech is helping drive people forwards into UK2, which I guess we are. It speaks for itself. If you do nothing else while you listen to this podcast or when you get home, stop, click the UK2.net logo. It's at the bottom of our page. Go to our homepage, bageltechnews.com, and then scroll down to the bottom and you'll find the UK2 logo. Click on that, and it'll take you straight through, and they'll know that we've sent you. Now, they're not worried about whether you buy anything, and the one thing that we said to them was, well, we can get people to click the link, but it's down to you guys to sell the products, and they know that. So they just want you to click the link and go through to them from Bagel Tech. If you sign into your account even, just click on that link, and it'll make a big difference to us. We don't do this for money, and if you want to support our network, you need to click that link as well, please. And the other person you should click as well is Don McAllister, because his screencasts online are phenomenal. Will's absolutely right. They are well worth stealing, even though we're not going to do it. They are the crown jewels of tuition videos for Mac software. So go and have a look, have a play. There's a free version every month, isn't there?
Yeah, there's one each month, and then there's a show every week for members.
Yeah, and they're well worth it.
Sorry.
Go ahead, Will.
I was going to say, I quite enjoy doing it. If you've got like a crappy old Mac, right?
Yeah.
And Don's like super fast Mac, and mine I've got an old G4 here, and if you play the videos back and doing them full screen, it's almost like your Mac has been upgraded there and then. And it talks to you and everything.
HD, so it looks like it.
It does. It looks brilliant. You're running Snow Leopard. It's and it does everything for you. In fact, if you're a bit lazy, you could just maybe just do it full screen. You just sit in front of it and think you're doing work as
move your hand around with the mouse.
I'll tell you what, Dan. What we could do is we could text you or Twitter you instructions. Right, for you to carry out. Look, Dan, I need to get this email done, and then you could do like a screencast of it.
Send it back to you.
What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good.
It's like a plus service, isn't it? A super plus service. I seriously have been watching it at full screen and thinking, oh, doesn't my Mac look great? Because the high resolution one looks fantastic. It looks better than my screen, if that's possible. But you know what I mean? It looks brilliant.
Well, I actually did that once. I was demonstrating. I think it was when the new version of QuickTime came out, because you can do screen captures in QuickTime, and I was demonstrating how to do that. And then I played it back, and then I forgot I'd played it back, and I was trying to tap on the menu to do something else, and it was actually the screencast that I just captured and blown full screen. So
comes to us all, mate.
Easily done.
Thank you very much. Right, that's the end of the Mac Show. We're just going to quick round of where you can get you. Don, you're available at?
Yeah, screencastonline.com. Or you can find all my social media links to Twitter and whatever over at donmcallister.net.
Jolly good. Thank you very much. Carl?
Twitter.com/Kyle Swagger. That's the easiest place to get a hold of me.
Brilliant. Andrew, you've now gone grumpy on us.
So many places, apparently, to find me.
So many places.
Which I don't know about until the next week.
drhappymac.com and at drhappymac on Twitter.
That's the ones that work normally, yes.
Or the Cornhall on Thursday mornings.
And Mondays.
Buttering up Princess Anne for the last scene in Last Tango in Paris. Good man.
Yeah, she didn't turn up last time, I'm afraid. I had the video camera ready and everything.
Oh.
It's the website's fault.
And Will, where can we get a hold of you, mate?
In his house, opening boxes of Macs.
Oh, a big crate full of them. Did you see that old... Fergie was complaining that she didn't get an invitation to the wedding. Christ. Oh, yes. God. It made me laugh at it. I can't believe I didn't get an invitation to the wedding. What, because you were selling tickets to go and see your husband for cash?
I think Cynthia Payne had got more chance of getting a ticket to the wedding than Fergie had. God. If you're going to screw up your membership of the royal family, do it properly, and that girl has.
She really hasn't. She was on Oprah, wasn't it?
I think she was just grumpy because she was planning to put it on eBay.
Along with a conference ticket for WWDC.
Oh,
right. Dr. Mardy Mac is the other one that's suggesting it in the chat room at the moment, which is pretty good. And Will may be opening new iMacs, but they'll all be covered in puppy poo within a week. There we go.
Oh, before we finish.
Oh, hang on. Go on.
No. This is good. I didn't realise that the old Thunderbolt connection is actually just a regular Oh, what do they call
Display
it now?
port.
The video one. What's the
Display
video
port.
one?
Mini display port.
Yeah. So you don't
I told
need
you that last week. Don told you. I listened
you?
back to the podcast yesterday, and Don told you it was mini display port. That's what you see. You went off on one, but you've actually got 2 standard mini display ports out on the back of your new Macs that are coming if you bought the high end ones. You ought to listen more.
Well, I thought that was interesting.
You should
Mini
stop
display port,
pirating
you don't
Don's
need an
material,
adapter.
Will.
You're too busy being a fanboy, mate, and not good enough reading the literature. There you go.
Yeah, and uploading Don stuff on the Pirate Bay.
That's it. You see, focus, dude.
Jeez.
Oh, well, I will. But anyway, just in case anybody missed it, which I obviously did. And also, they haven't got rid of FireWire either. Well, on
No,
the
I didn't,
MacBook
no,
Pro, at
no one
least.
said they had. Last week there was a comment in the chat room that I read out saying that FireWire is included.
It is.
Yeah, it's in there. We knew it's on
It's
there,
obvi-
mate. We told you it was.
It's obvious. It's obvious that Will does not download this show.
We told you that FireWire and USB and all those things were still included.
Well, I didn't know. I mean, I did. I just thought they got rid of everything pretty much and just left it with one port.
Well, you know
That
when
was-
you know when you bought. I mean, let's just analyse the fact here that you've bought 6 iMacs at one go, and an iMac and a MacBook Pro, and you didn't check the specs of what you were buying.
He's the perfect Apple customer.
You've just turned out 12 grand over to these people, and you didn't know what you were getting. If this comes and Coco the Clown pops out of the thing and smacks your face on the pallet, are you going to be surprised? Because that's a realistic opportunity now.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to focus. It's like you just want them, don't you? I mean, you can't help yourself. And so I've ordered them, and they're on a pallet, and they're coming this way. And at the end of the day, there's always ways around things.
See,
isn't
that's
there?
the problem with being a Mac fanboy. You lose all sense of perspective and reality. You just go along with whatever shit they send you.
Well, what upsets me is I've got nothing booked in. I'm thinking, what am I going to do with these things? Like a dozen of them.
Hang on. So,
loves you, Will.
So let me just.
Apple loves you.
You've just spent 12 grand on something that you don't know what you're actually getting, and you haven't got a use for it yet.
Not yet. But I was thinking that you can do the. I could connect them together and make them a supercomputer. That's one of the things I've been thinking about.
Well, so you can play chess on it.
Well, I don't really know. Quake or something. I don't know.
6-screen Quake. You can slave them all together. That's a good point. They can all share each other's monitors.
I can get my mates round.
If you've got the twin ports, you can loop one into the other, and you can have 6 monitors all running back to back across each other with a big curve around you, mate. That'd be great panorama.
Yeah, but they don't do it, do they?
Play a racing game.
But they don't do that anymore, do they?
Yes, they do. They
Yes,
slave
they
off.
do.
They slave off over other Thunderbolt devices.
Not video though. I think you have to have a separate video for each port. Is that right?
But
I don't know.
But if you've got a Thunderbolt-enabled device, you can still do the
Right. If
slave
your
off.
monitor's got a second Thunderbolt port.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
then you can slave off it. So the iMacs can still be used as slave monitors, providing the source is a Thunderbolt-enabled device.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
I did a search on the Apple website.
See,
though,
I
for
read that,
Thunderbolt
Will.
In the, what?
I read that, Will.
What?
That
Read what?
bit of information, I read it.
Read what bit of information?
Well, you read a lot when you're walking the dog, but you don't read the specifications of the thing that you part good money with. I mean, it's you know we talked about the after show. Well,
Yes.
it's meant to be after. It's not meant to be during. This whole show has been the after show. I love it. Hello, welcome to Bagel Tech VIP. There we go.
Well, anyway, you wait.
On that note,
Next week, I'll get videos from all sorts of directions, won't I? Can you set up a few more Skype-ins?
I can do another 3 if I've got machines, but I haven't got enough machines. But you clearly have because you're not using them for anything else. So, how would you like to sponsor the video wall? Lend me
Well,
one
I
of your
could do,
machines
couldn't I?
for a week or 2.
Yeah,
Wait, what-
we could have
can you-
four iMacs for each Skype screen. They'll just be iMacs.
That'd
Now
be
we're
cool.
talking.
That'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Right, on that note, I think we're going to end it because I've got to go now.
Please.
I've got no time to do an after show. I've just got to go. All right. So, join us again next week because we'll be talking Will's iMacs. He will be here in full glorious colour, of course, because he'll have 6 choices of which one to use, and he will be doing it naked because he did promise he would. And I've got to find a wobbly, long blank out bit, like a piece of black tape.
don't
Make sure
say-
you put black
don't
tape
say
over your eyes, though, Al. It will.
Don't say wobbly and naked in the same sentence, please.
Well, there you go. We'll see you next week. Have a good weekend. And really, I've never meant this more than before. Thank you for listening. Bandwidth and hosting for BagelTechMac is provided by UK2.net. Web hosting for everyone.